Hi, I'm here with Brett McLean, and he's a wood sculptor, and he's been showcasing some of his work at the Sussex County Community College Teen Arts Festival this year. How you doing, Brett?
Excellent.
Great. So what have you been doing here today?
Just demonstrating wood sculpture, wood carving in large format. We try not to call ourselves chainsaw carvers because that's just very limiting.
So you use chainsaws primarily to create your sculptures?
Yes, as well as other power tools, chisels, whatever it takes to get the job done.
And do you use any particular type of wood, or does it not matter?
For demonstration, pine works really nice because it's a little quicker. We also carve all sorts of wood. We've got cherry, maple, walnut, to name a few, and we've got some of those here today as well.
Great. So have you been making any sculptures today in front of an audience?
Yes. There's two of us here today. I'm working currently on a giraffe, and Joel has been working on a stump bear. He's done a little bear coming out of a stump, a shell, a little nautical theme, and currently is working on a mushroom table.
Very interesting. So how long does it usually take you to create a sculpture using wood?
It depends on the intricacy of the piece and the wood type. Some pieces can be created in less than an hour, and others take weeks.
Wow. And you said you've been coming here for a few years now. Do you change up your routine every year as far as what you show the attendance here at the Sussex County Teen Arts Festival?
Yeah, definitely. We try not to be too repetitive. A lot of what's seen in our area is very repetitive as far as bears and eagles, and that's why we always try to bring out some furniture and something a little bit different, because that's really what we're here to do, is promote creativity and break that standard of what is done.
How did you get into wood sculpting?
Actually, I was 17 or 18 and decided to. Well, I came from log timber harvesting background and started. Wow, this is horrible. I say came from a timber harvesting background,
Okay.
and as well as art background on a hobby level, and just kind of put the two together and started making sculptures, and lo and behold, started selling them.
So you get a good amount of people coming here possibly to look at prospective buys?
I wouldn't say a good amount. There's always a few people that are interested, and probably a lot more people. The kids that come here seem to definitely take a great interest, and hopefully we inspire them not just to be bear carvers, which is the dreaded, outcome of a lot of chainsaw carvers. What we try to promote is really just being sculptors and being artists, and really pursuing that higher end.
Well, I think students here today can definitely agree that the wood sculpting is an art form. It's been very interesting talking with you. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thank you. It's always a pleasure to be here.
What are we doing today, and how did you get into it?
We're doing tile making, actually. I got into tile making by doing ceramic sculptures. I studied tile making at Moravian Tile Works in Doylestown, Pennsylvania. I did an apprenticeship there for 14 weeks and learned how to make, historic tiles. So I was contacted, I guess, by a friend. They told me about the program to come here, and so I've been doing this for the past 3 years, I guess, now. Yeah.
Who inspired you, or what or who inspired you to make tiles?
Let's see. I don't know. I just wandered into it. I used to do computer graphics. I took a clay class to fill in an elective, and I've been gone ever since. So I guess just the feel of the clay. I have certain people who I look at who I may inspire me as far as the way they work. Let's see. I can't think of any. Like I said, a guy named Peter Callis. This was another famous. I can't think of his name right now. He's so famous. But anyway, but it's more so for me about the feel of the clay, the fire, the rain, the weather. Makes me do that.
What kind of material and techniques do you use?
Everything, anything. Grass, trees, rocks, sand, water. Anything to sort of make that design. As far as whatever I'm envisioning inside the clay. So whatever it takes, that's what I'm using. So everything's open, as far as what I use, how I use it. Like I said, I haven't made a tile in maybe 3 years, but I brought this in for the kids to look at. It's made totally out of paper. so they get an idea that whatever it is to make your vision, do it. So.
What makes you come back here every year for Teen Arts?
Giving back. I mean, it's one of the things that as you learn things, it used to be a thing with the old masters. They used to develop a secret or they developed something and they kept it to themselves. It was like the family heirloom. Don't let out the secret that if I put vinegar inside this, it does that. But I don't believe that. The world is like, once you learn something, pass it on. So working with the kids, if I learn something, here you go. Now you run with it. You make it bigger. So that's what I keep doing.
Is there anything else you'd like to add?
No.
No?
Yeah, it's nice weather out there.
Yes,
Get back
nice
to the
weather.
kids and their tiles,
Yes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We're here with Nancy Lyon. She's a mime artist who just finished a mime workshop here at the Teen Arts Festival. Nancy, how are you doing today?
Great, thanks.
Thank you for having us. Basically, I just want to know a little bit about your background as a mime artist.
I started out as a dancer. I have a degree in dance, and part of the course of the ballet degree was to take a year of pantomime, which was basically creative, teaching you to move to the music. And we weren't taught any formal mime exercises, but it created a great love in me for the art form of mime. And it was probably the first time I was funny, because my brother was the family comedian, and I was very serious and a little sarcastic in my humor, and nobody would ever laugh at me. But when I started doing mime, I could make people laugh, and it just sort of opened the floodgates for me. And then I was very fortunate to be able eventually to study with Marcel Marceau, the world's greatest mime, and to demonstrate for him for 20 years and around the world, and pursued everyone I could possibly study with in mime.
That's amazing. So as far as the workshop today, what was the purpose of the mime workshop? What were you hoping students would gain from attending?
Mostly I wanted to give them just a background about mime. People have such misconstrued ideas about mime. Everyone thinks the mime isn't stuck in a box and a white face, and everyone loves to hate him because so many street mimes have ridiculed people walking by and imitated them and made people laugh at them. People now hate mime, hate the art form. You hear a bad saxophone player, you don't hate the saxophone and you don't hate the art of music, but people hate mimes. So I wanted to give people an understanding historically where it came from, how it developed, and then also give them the experience to try some and to realize how difficult it is and yet how fun and amazing it is as an art form. It's really something you spend your life studying. Court jesters, right? They would go around to entertain the kings, and they would be musicians and acrobats and still walkers and poets, and I'm sure that they were also mimes. Well, has anyone heard of Commedia dell'arte?
So what type of stories did they have?
We did a couple of things. One was to work manipulating object identification with a ball. So what are the characteristics of a ball, and how do you show that it's a ball and not something else? What are the properties that are universal characteristics of throwing it? And then we played with time, we played with metamorphosis of the object changing into other things. And then we also stopped time and told a little story so that if they threw the ball into the air, did it come down or did it not come down? And could it be symbolic of what happened in their life, or what did they want to, each student could create their own story. We did the same with the classic mime wall, and the wall's closing in on you, and whether you got out or not. So just fun for them.
So when the students were telling these stories, what were you telling them to do so that the stories would look effective and real and believable to the audience?
Well, first we had to learn the technique of how to do them, how to do a ball, how to do a wall, what part of the body to use, and how to express that universally. And then I just sort of guided them through the steps until the point that they had to make the story their own.
Well, it seems like you have a lot of experience, obviously, as performing as a mime. So what can you tell possibly prospective mimes or people that are looking to pursue a career in mime art? What advice can you give them?
Well, you need to study as much movement as you can, dance of all kinds, acting, you need to learn to act. But mostly you need to study with a good teacher, because you can never learn to do anything but superficiality unless you really learn the correct dramatic weight and work with someone who really is a true professional mime.
Well, great. You heard it directly from Nancy Lyon, the professional mime artist. So thank you so much for being with us again today.
And thank you. Usually they pay me not to talk, but thank you very much.
Yes, well, enjoy the day.
Thank you.